Hey all, it's Jace here. Valheim's been getting pretty big on Twitch recently, and given its popularity, I decided to give it a shot. Thing is, I don't really have friends, so for the time being I'm stuck playing the single player. Though, I've been seeing a lot of people online ask if the single player is any good or not, and since Valheim's one of those games that's really better to play with friends, I decided that in today's video, I'm gonna go over whether or not the single player is actually worth your time. With that said, if you enjoy this kind of content, be sure to leave a like and a comment down below. Also, be sure to subscribe and hit that notifications bell so you get notified after every upload. Every sub goes a long way, and I'm hoping to hit 100 subs by the end of the next month, however ambitious that might be for me at the moment. So, again, be sure to subscribe and help us hit that goal, as well as get notified whenever I upload. Now, is Valheim single player worth your time? Personally, I believe it is. This game has a lot of strengths, especially for an early access game, and even in the single player, the gameplay still holds up. The game itself is really simplistic, while still keeping a degree of polish I haven't seen in an early access title, or an indie title, for that matter, in quite a long time. The game says it's early access, but it just doesn't feel early access, if you catch my drift. Everything from the movement to the art style to the skill tree, lighting, and even the water and wind effects feels like it fits in the game's world, and it all just works together really cohesively. The game feels kinda slow, but not in like a bad way. Instead of feeling like sluggish or boring, Valheim more just feels relaxing to play, especially in the early hours of the game. In Valheim, you start off with a bird, which I'm assuming is Valkyrie, dropping you off in an area called the Meadow. Now, there isn't much to worry about in the first area, as all the enemies are pretty weak, and the gameplay focus is more just on learning how to gather resources and like build things. So the whole biome is basically just a massive safe haven for you to learn how to walk in the first stages of the game. About the most dangerous thing you'll actually find there is a little tree man called a grayling. They have this cutesy, dinky little wobble to them, and they don't really do much damage. They basically just act as an introduction to the game's combat mechanics. The game really starts to pick up after the first boss fight, though. First boss is an electric deer named Eikthyr. If you have a bow, he's pretty easy to kill, and honestly, you can kill him pretty easily with just a shield and a spear anyways. But the fight itself is a really good setup for the next section of the game. Now, the single player up to this point has been fine, but it occasionally gets kind of boring since, again, there really isn't much challenge in the meadow. After you kill Eikthyr, however, you have to go to the Black Forest. Now, the Black Forest is where, in my opinion, the single player in this game really starts to shine. The game starts to challenge you here. When you first enter, you'll be introduced to this new enemy type called Grey Dwarves, which is just a significantly stronger and more annoying version of the previous Greylings from the meadow. If you're really unlucky, you might meet their other variants, the Grey Dwarf Shamans and Grey Dwarf Brutes, which are just tankier and deal more damage, and the Grey Dwarf Shamans have this acid fire attack thing. I don't really know. It's annoying, they're annoying, but you get used to them. You might feel a little overwhelmed for a bit, but given a couple more hours, you'll learn how to survive in the Black Forest. Base building becomes a lot bigger of a focal point at this point in the game, since enemies will just randomly attack your house from time to time. The biggest issue, of course, being trolls. These absolute units will completely fuck over any dreams that you've had of building yourself a nice, peaceful little mansion in the woods. Literally 2 swings from one of these things demolished the entire stone tower I was living in, breaking my bed and all my chests and forcing me to completely rebuild my base from the ground up. Now, since you're on your own, these guys can be pretty annoying, and you really have to think through your house's defenses a lot more now. You need to start building walls, as well as put up wooden spikes around your homes in hopes that it'll keep the trolls out long enough for you to kill them manually with a bow. Overall, the challenge that the Black Forest provides makes Valheim single player so much better. The spike in difficulty seems a little sudden at first, but it forces you to stay on your toes, and it makes you get a grip on the game mechanics a lot faster. In no time, you'll find yourself becoming much more adept at the game's combat system, as well as becoming a much smarter player in terms of how you explore the surrounding areas. In short, the gameplay in Valheim single player still holds up to an exceptional standard, one of which is definitely worth your $20. And that's not even mentioning how the game looks and runs. Valheim's art is downright beautiful. The retro pixely graphics and low poly characters design, coupled with the mind-blowing volumetric lighting, work so unusually well together, I really can't say much more without just showing screenshots. The game gets some great use out of lighting, and some of the best looking moments in the game are at sunset and sunrise when the full effect of the sun is shining behind your character as it sits on the horizon. The colors in the sky changing to rich oranges and pinks, and clouds breaking into spectacular arrays of god rays. Again, the game looks amazing. Valheim looks amazing. And another thing I noticed in my time with it is Valheim is basically just bugless. The worst issue I've encountered in like all of my playtime is a mild stutter whenever it autosaves. Other than that, only other things I can find are maybe a couple AI tracking issues with trolls kind of walking around in circles from time to time, and maybe the occasional tree spawning in a rock, but it's nothing that's immersion breaking or like outright game breaking. All in all, I think most people would agree that Valheim is a game best played with friends, but that's not to say the single player doesn't hold up by any means. In fact, it's quite the contrary. Valheim's single player experience has to be one of the most engaging and entertaining experiences I've had with a game in a while. And if you're thinking about buying it, like, do it. Like right now, go on Steam and get this game. It's only 20 bucks, and I assure you it'll keep you entertained for a bare minimum of 30 to 40 hours solo. Not only that, but it's in early access, so you can expect to get more content and updates in the future, just adding to the game's value even more. But yes, this game's single player is definitely worth your time. Well, that said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, be sure to leave a like and a comment down below. I really enjoy reading all the things you guys have to say, and believe me, I read every single comment. Again, be sure to subscribe as well and hit that notifications bell. I'm hoping to get 100 subscribers by the end of this next month, so every new sub really goes a long way. We're already at around 70, so we're making pretty good progress so far, and thank you guys so much for that. Also, be sure to follow my Twitch, linked in the description. I stream every Friday night starting at around 8 p.m. EST, give or take 5-10 minutes. And you can bet that I'm going to be having plenty of Valheim streams in the near future because I am in love with this game. And again, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you all in the next one. Peace out.